We are moving on to our next session, and our next session is brought to us by our Digital Transformation Toastmasters Club in District 2. We have 4 of their members who have come to join us this evening. Being communal online, it only takes a spark. Why do we gather together, and what surprises can we gain from it? Online community benefits and bonuses in 2020 is brought to us by our 3 presenters, Linda Vorthman. Linda is a talented virtual administrative assistant. Her deep tech skills have boosted many a speaker, club, and event online this year. A member of the District 2 online task force, she continues to inspire others to enjoy excellence on Zoom events. She is currently the president of Digital Transformation Toastmasters Club, the Inspiration Club of the Year for District 2. Our second presenter is Nan Hamilton. Nan works in the field of human design as a talent development coach. She loves to see individuals and teams find dynamic new ways to connect in community. An educator for 27 years, lifelong storyteller and narrator extraordinaire, she loves the grow zone aspect of Toastmasters. She is currently the Vice President of Education of Digital Transformation. Our third presenter is Michael Dugan. Michael is a distinguished Toastmaster, a career consultant for the Brighton Group, chef and passionate fly fisherman who travels the globe in search of new adventures. He is currently the Vice President of Public Relations for Digital Transformation. Our chat master this evening is Aleli Manaleli. Aleli has been a Toastmaster for 5 years and is a member of Digital Transformation Toastmasters Club. She, like her studies in mixed martial arts, Aleli believes in practicing the skills you want to achieve with mastery within a supportive community that fosters growth. From our District 2 Digital Transformation Toastmasters, welcome our presenters and our chat master.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster Joanna. We appreciate the invitation to come. So everybody go over to the chat right now and just put in, what's the name of your club? We're so happy to have you here. And I'm not really sure if there's any non-Toastmasters here, but if you're not a Toastmaster, oh, which one? Very funny, James. Right, we'll just list them all. For the overachievers, list every club you're in. Why not? It's chat. We're here to chat tonight. We're going to chat big or go home. So Aleli, can you tell us a couple of the clubs we're representing here tonight?
Hi, Linda. Yes, some of the clubs are commentators. We have Centerpoint in Anchorage. We have First City Toastmaster. We have Harbor Club, PhD speakers and commerce communicators. Port Orchard, Citizens of the World. How interesting. First City Toastmasters. Oh, ambitious. Swim, Sound Advice, Nerd Master, Laugh Lab, Story Master. Wow, that person's busy, Kyle. Palmer in Palmer. Shall I continue on, Linda?
I think that gives us a flavor. Thank you so much. So tonight we had 2 breakout sessions. There was relational networking online, and then there was plotting your journey in Toastmasters. So let's take a moment and get present to this room by talking about what was your takeaway from your breakout tonight. Everybody, whichever breakout you were in, go into chat and just tell us what is one takeaway that you got from your breakout session tonight. So put it over there in the chat for us. So Laylee, maybe you could read a few of them off for us as our chat master this evening.
How to plan your path. Update your website. update our website, seeing up-to-date club website. Wow, there's a lot of website items.
Yeah.
As new VP of PR, I'll take a pic of our next meeting. New Toastmaster can gain confidence on Zoom. Adding member videos to the club website. Being authentic is still achievable through Zoom. All right.
Great. I'm not
Update
sure
your
if you
presence,
froze,
COVID
Alayli.
reality. Be genuine, make eye contact, and bring.
I think you froze there for a moment. So sorry. I think I cut you off a little bit. Your sound was coming in and out, but so we got a lot of great takeaways tonight. I'm really happy to have everybody here for Being Communal Online. So we have here, as you heard in the long introduction, which somebody wrote a really great introduction, said a lot of nice things I know about me and my co-officers here. We are 4 officers from Digital Transformation Toastmasters, and we were invited to come down and have an experience. We're not really here to teach you every little thing about being communal online, because you already know a lot about that, but we're here to have an actual experience about being communal online. And we hope that your biggest takeaway from this whole session is to chat a lot. D32, and I quote, wants to be known worldwide as the people that chat more than any other district in the world. So let's make that happen tonight. Let's practice a lot of chatting tonight. Chat, chat, chat. So this is more of an experience than a lecture style presentation. So you've heard a little bit from our chat master. Alayli's our chat master. So can you just tell us a little bit about yourself, Alayli? You become present.
Absolutely. I'm the chat master. I'm in the background, but I'm very attentive and paying attention to this chat as well as our speakers today. So, and I'm answering some questions regarding technical items. So I am here for you. I look forward to spending this 1 hour with you. Back to you, Linda.
Oh, thank you. And the reason we chose Alayli was very specific, because when we had the world champion of public speaking come, and it was Craig Valentine that time, she was on the red carpet and she was dressed to kill, well, or something like that, dressed to the nines. And she had, oh yes, Alayli, and she had her microphone and she was interviewing people, and she was like a very dramatic chat master. I think she's a self-proclaimed introvert. So really she came out of her shell that night. It was very memorable. So then with me tonight is, and I apologize, I forgot to mention that Alayli is our Sergeant of Arms at Digital. And Michael Dugan, will you come off mute and tell us how you're going to share with us tonight about developing community and digital transformation, how we expanded our membership and also benefited District 2. Michael?
Yeah, as the VP of Public Relations this year, I'm working on continuing to connect our community. But last year, we really brought the community together online in digital transformation. And tonight, we're going to show you how we were able to do that and hopefully share some best practices that'll benefit all of your clubs.
Michael, thank you so much. And then we also have, and I'm so happy to have Nan Hamilton, my friend here. I met her at the Skagit Valley Speakers, and then I dragged her over to Digital because it's just so good. Yes, that was it, Nan. Nan is going to bring a spark to our community. You'll see as soon as you see her personality. And also I wanted to, can you talk about the selfie light too when you give your introduction?
Yes, thank you, Linda Vorthman, President of Digital Transformation Toastmasters. Thank you so much. I will be the wrap-up speaker tonight. So it'll be Linda, then she'll lob it over to Michael, then I'll bring it home. Sometime during our presentation, we're going to be giving away one of these little babies. Just in case you haven't seen them, you've probably heard of them. You know that famous thing we all do, go give a smile. This is to enhance your final product. It's a selfie light. It has three intensities of light, and then it is very good, especially if you're going to be posting pictures of yourself for a business online or for some other group that you want to have really good quality pictures. And you know, we're in the Northwest. We really understand. And you guys up in Alaska, I used to work in Alaska, you understand the dark of winter and the gloom. So this light will really help. We'll have a drawing for that later, and I hope one of you wins it, a giveaway. That's exactly right. So I'm pleased to be here. I believe in community. I think that Zoom has been one of my, what did Mr. Rogers say? Won't you be my neighbor? So it's been fun to get to know people. I look forward to my section later. Here you go, Linda.
Dan, thank you so much, our Vice President membership. And so the clue is, the hint is to listen very carefully. Have your Mr. Rogers listening ears on to win the selfie light when we come to Nan's section. But listen throughout everything, just pay great attention and see who can be the first to answer our secret question. So as you know, I'm the president of Digital Transformation Toastmasters, and I'm not going to go into a lot about what that means because Michael's going to give you a very thorough overview of our club, but we are from District 2, and that's the northern part of the Pacific Northwest of Washington State. So we're like your sister district. So I want to take you back, talking about community, I want to take you back to the 1990s. I was somewhat newly divorced, had 2 kids, was in Bellevue studying and deciding where to go for my grand adventure of getting my 4-year degree. I went into the cafeteria and I looked at a lot of catalogs for various colleges, and I thought I was on track to go for one, but then I looked down and I saw a line in a college catalog and it said, "It's not for everyone." And even right now, I just get goosebumps. I get goosebumps when I think of that line. I'm like, oh my goodness, it's not for everyone. And that's when I raised my hand and decided to pack up the kids and leave where we had lived our entire life in Seattle and move down to Olympia to the Evergreen State College, only because it's not for everyone. And what I did when I got there, my first year was I studied community development for an entire year. Now, at the Evergreen State College, it's all integrated. You don't take like a class here, a class there, and all that. No, you go from morning to night. You're in one program. You have 3 faculty, and that's all you study for 3 quarters. So an entire academic year, all about community development. I thought of it from every angle, up and down, starting cities, moving cities from this place to that place. And also I focused on the social aspects of computing because I've loved computers from the day the first day I locked eyes with a computer in the office, I fell in love, and I love computers. And so what I studied was having a computer in every household in America. If everybody could have a phone that's subsidized by the government, then surely we could all have a computer internet connection in every single household. And I studied that for that year along with community development. And what I found more than any other thing, and I'm not going to tell you what I learned for a whole year about community, because I'm not really here to talk to all your brains all night. We're here for an experience. So what I learned was basically that after food and shelter, people crave belonging, and belonging means belonging to a community. So let's look at a couple definitions of community just from the dictionary. A unified body of individuals. People, for example, that have common interests living in a particular area. And I think when they wrote living in a particular area in terms of geography, those are the pre-Zoom days, the pre-COVID days. People with common interests, a group of people with common characteristics living together within a larger society. For example, a community of retired people, or for example, a monastic community. A body of persons of common and especially professional interests scattered throughout a larger society. Let's say like an academic community or a scientific community. So what are your ideas of community? Go to the chat. Give me some ideas. What comes to mind? You think of community. Okay, it's just a word, but what does that really mean to you? What are some of the characteristics, some of the ways that we're in community? And I want everybody to participate. You're not here just to watch, you're here for an experience. And then Alayli's going to read it off to give us a flavor of how people are weighing in on community.
Linda, they are starting to share. We see family, shared focus, neighborhoods, people supporting each other, same culture, my people, my peeps, clubs, neighborhood, church, work, fun, hobbies, agreement, association for service, supportive, speak the language. I don't mean English. A group of individuals or families, faith community, growth, volunteer groups. I traveled for 20 years with a large community of Christian theater artists. How interesting. Diverse groups, each contributing.
I love it. Everybody's sparking some interest here. So, surprise, right now, right here on Zoom, us, all the people that are right here, we are a community. We're not just some people that are hunkered together on a sidewalk. James, yay. We're not just standing randomly together. We are a community right here, right now. We are experiencing community and belonging. So we're meeting one of our needs. So we're a community. We need a name. All right, put your creative thinking caps on. I want everybody to give one name for our community. Go. Type in chat. What's a great name for this community right here, right now? And when we get a few, I'll turn to Aleli to read a few off.
I like lucky ones. Talkmasters. Zoomer District. Evening Shade. Synergy Sinkers. Fun Online, Mutual Respect. Late Night Learners. Green Buzz. High Energy. Verbal Boosters. Box Talkers. Tech Savvy in the Making, with hyphens. Communication Mythbusters. Boomer Zoomer. We don't have millennials? We the Speakers. Brady Bunchers. Come on, more. Communers. Fun Online.
Oh, these are just great. Somebody already used my trick though. I think we shouldn't just have a single name for our community because it's so diverse here, really. I think what we should do is take all the names and just put a hyphen in between every name and have a supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, really long name for our community. Why not? It's our community and we can all name it, right? Let's just put hyphens in and just have hyphens everywhere. So we're a community. So let's think about it. We've got Facebook pop-up communities, right? So what's the first thing you do when you join a Facebook pop-up community or any community? Just community. There has to be rules, right? We got to have some rules. So what are some rules? Let's make up some rules right now. It's our community. We're making up our own rules, and every community needs rules. Give me some chat ideas. I say let's be polite and not have profanity. Let's stay on topic. What rules do you think of?
Linda, I'm seeing some trickle in. Be respectful, mute yourself, no profanity. Introductions. Speak one at a time. Everyone wear a beard. Well, that's hard for me. No politics. Follow an agenda. Have fun. I like that one. Focus. Courteous. Don't eat with your mouth open. Yeah, shut off your video on that one. Celebrate success. Laugh a lot. Love that. Wow.
So keep sharing, keep sharing. These are all really great rules. I'm gonna out somebody, but I won't tell you their name, but somebody wrote me privately and said, Linda, there are no rules. And everybody knows that really there aren't any rules. There aren't any rules, but a lot of communities like to start with saying that they have rules. And maybe that just brings them closer together because they all have a in the 1990s when I was studying. And then after I studied at the Evergreen State College, I started working there and I stayed there for 15 years because they were totally my people. So I learned about various ways to join a community through chat. So let me share this slide here with you. Oh, That's not the right one. Okay, sorry about that. So in the computer center at the Evergreen State College, we had computers, but they only had black monitors with green type on them. And you can see that this is a picture, but it's not really a picture. It's actually just keyboard characters all strung together to write out Nemesis. And this is an example of a MUD. And a MUD, MUD, stands for a multi-user dungeon. So what we used to do back in the 90s, I don't think anybody here knows this about me, but I was kind of a little tiny bit addicted to MUDs, but they were my first chat opportunities at Evergreen. And so multi-user dungeon or MUD could also be multi-user dimension or multi-user domain. So we would go in there and it's all text. There's no pictures on computers at all. There aren't pictures unless you made them with those characters. And it's just green or orange on a black screen. And we just made up little role-playing games. And, we'd say, I walk into a room, all in text. I walk into a room. I turn to the left. I see a wall. And then I have to go, well, how am I going to interact with the wall? I look at the wall. I feel around for a door. I find a doorknob, on and on, all through text. Okay, I a little bit got in trouble because I kind of figured it was a lot more fun. It was a lot more fun to play in the MUDs and moves than it was to do my studying because I could just create my own little world. So this man came up from the computing center that I guess they could see what we were doing when they weren't in the room. They were just down there monitoring us, and he banned me from the MUDs. And I started crying. I go, this guy, it was all like computer programming syntax. And it was complicated. You had to do exactly the right syntax and everything. And so this guy was guiding me through it. And he goes, get off right now. I'm like, can I just say goodbye to my friend? No, I'm disconnecting you immediately. I was just like crying. And then I went to the computer aides and I'm like, can he do that? It's like, oh, he can definitely do that. He's in charge. And then later, when I worked in the computing technical department, I became friends with him, but it was always a little awkward after that because I wasn't sure if he remembered kicking me off the moves. So then I got a computer at home. And again, it's just that, it's just the green screen at home or orange. And this is how you connected. You took your telephone. For anybody that doesn't recognize it, that's a telephone. And you took the receiver and you put it in the cradle so that you could communicate over the phone line so that you could communicate with the internet. And if you wanted to download, like say Windows, it would take the entire night. And you didn't have use of your phone unless you could have a backup, but then how are you going to find, if you had a second line or a backup or call waiting, if you put call waiting on, it would interrupt your download. So basically you just turn on the download and go to sleep. And if it was just something short, you just go and eat a meal and come back, but Windows would take the entire night. So who's had an old style computer like that? Put in the chat. How far back are we going here, people? Windows 3.1, pray you don't get dropped. Yeah. Oh, Commodore 64. I'll let Aleli read some of these off, but they're so, yeah, I love DOS.
TRS-80. I was the DOS. Dollop, yes. TI-99 for a cow computer. I played when I was a kid an old Mac with just DOS. I bet you played Oregon Trail, whoever that was. BCTI, DOS cards. A friend had a Sinclair, old Mac, Fortran.
I'm definitely among friends here. We're a community for sure. There's no doubt about it. So after MUDs, then MUDs and moves, then I found out about a BBS. That's a bulletin board system. And I didn't know at the time because I thought it was something pretty fancy and sophisticated, but truly it was just some guy that had a computer in his garage in Kirkland and we were all going through his computer. So I mean, I found out who was behind the screen later on, but I did love bulletin board systems. Before bulletin board systems, everybody was on CB radios, and they had all these code words and operate like 10-4, good buddy, and stuff like that. Before that, we had Morse code. It's all zeros and ones, all communication. It's just on, off, like smoke signals, like a long piece of smoke and a little short piece of smoke, and dots and dashes with Morse code. But what I loved about chatting was it was all a social equalizer. There's no age, there's no race, there's no gender, there's no education. I don't know if they're educated or not. I don't know their marital status, their body size, completely depersonalized, just brain to brain. And it really allowed for a lot of intimacy. And in fact, we did have a lot of intimacy back in those days, but we'll just leave that word hanging out there. And it was all with just a few letters. And for some reason, we loved our acronyms. Like there's BRB, and a lot of these acronyms still live today, but we lived by the acronyms back in the day. And I think it's because everything was all typed out. So BRB, be right back, AFK, away from keyboard. What are some other acronyms that you guys even might still use today, but only in chat? Not like IBM or things like that, like chat acronyms. What are chat acronyms you guys use? Oh yeah, TY. Alea, I'll let you go.
ICYNI. Thank you very much. TYBM. ROFL. BFF. BRB. BTW. IMHO. IDK. OMG. Oh, thank you for FOTW, fall off the face of the world. Oh, I didn't know that one. IMHO. I don't know some of these. UNK, PML.
All right, are you guys just making some of these up? Because what good does it do to put 3 letters when they don't really have any meaning? No, I'm just teasing. But I will tell you that my favorite acronym at the time, back in the 90s, was IRL, in real life. Like we pretended like chatting was not real life. That just cracks me up to think that it wasn't real life. So back in the day, we had AOL CDs. They were everywhere. They were junk mail. You go to the post office, they're just stacked up there. Everywhere you went was AOL. And that stood for America Online. So who remembers AOL and who was on AOL back in the day? Yep, lots of people. So you could get some free hours of community connection. So this is all community. So after AOL, then we went to CompuServe. And then you had to buy credits, and you could have a certain amount of time to chat on there. And there was a lot of intimacy, I would say, again, on CompuServe for sure. But it was a little more highbrow than the AOL because just everybody was on AOL. So thinking of all these different kinds of community, what communities are you a part of? What communities define you? Put it in the chat. Put some ideas of some community besides this one here, which we're the best community ever. What communities do we have represented here?
Linda, I'm seeing several come in. Senior Center, Family Community, Storyteller Guild, Seattle Theater Artists, Church Community, Volunteer, Online Podcasting, Mensa, Basketball Scorekeeper. We have Family Work Volunteer, Facebook groups, United Nations Association. We have Church, Grief Support, Holy Name Catholic Church, Writing Group, Hockey Scorekeeper, Book Club, National Notary Association, Football Scorekeeper, and wow, WHOW, Women Helping Other Women.
Multiple points for having a name and an acronym both. Multiple points for that for sure. You don't win the selfie light, but keep listening because you might be the one to win it later on during Nan's segment. Aleli, thank you so much. So back in the day when I did work at the Evergreen State College, I also became president of the Olympia Microcomputer User Group. And it's hard for me to say it out because it's just OMUG or OMUG. So I love Olympia. I wish that I still lived in Olympia, then I'd be more part of D32, but now I live up here. So as I said before, I am the president of digital transformation, and our vice president of public relations is Michael. So I'd like to invite Michael forward to talk to you about our club, and I'll just let him describe what he's going to be talking about. Michael.
Thank you, Linda. Before I talk about and share with you about digital transformation, I have a quick question that I've been observing about chat. If you share your screen, is it possible that Aleli can see the chat? If she goes to full screen when you share your screen, is it possible that Aleli can see the chat? Okay, well, we're gonna find out tonight. I'd like to take you back to a time when we had a failing club in District 2, and that's when digital transformation was formed. There's a person named Donna Stoltz who was a founding member of digital transformation. And I actually texted her recently. I was chatting with Donna and I asked her, I said, how was this club formed? What's the real history behind it? And I want to share with you what she shared with me. She said that Digital Transformation Toastmasters was the brainchild of Roxy Stimson, who's now our district director. She was then the club growth director, and she's now our district director. But Roxy asked Donna and Jolene Ashker to help revitalize a club that was dying or failing. Now in chat, I'm curious if you have any clubs. There's many people from different clubs that are failing or that are dying. And I would love to hear from you right now through chat. Well, this club met online, or this failing club, Roxy came up with this idea that she would create a hybrid club, and that club would meet in person and online. And so they met online for 3 out of 4 weeks a month. And then they met in person once a month. I'm going to stop for a minute. And Aleli, do we have anyone that's talking about failing clubs? I'm glancing over at the chat over here.
There is one. My club just lost six with the new year.
Okay.
Untwisted Tongues is struggling. Sweet Pride of Fairbanks is struggling. Michael, there's only a few.
Okay.
I'm sure people will continue on.
But I can feel your pain because I was an area director and I remember working with some struggling clubs and trying to figure out how are you going to rebuild that community? And how are you going to do that? So she came up with this idea of creating this hybrid online club. And she brought Donna Stoltz and Jolene Ashker together. And then they formed this. And they wanted to increase the online presence of online meetings. Now, remember, this was pre-COVID. This was before anything changed. And so it was really interesting when I was invited, and several of us last year were invited to join this club. At that time, it was June of last year, I became the VP of membership. And you cannot believe how much I struggled to work to figure out how to build online community, how to recruit members. So I'd like to hear from everyone else. When you came online, did you struggle? Was it really challenging to get people to join your club? Were you fearful that you were going to lose your audience because you were being pushed into this online community? Let's see if we get any responses.
We have some trickling in now. It's a challenge. It was hard to persuade people to give it a try. Yes, people didn't want to do online meetings. It's tough. Our members, wow, they're all coming in now. Okay, read faster. We are currently looking at transition in hybrid. It was weird and awkward at first. We have different groups of people. We lost older members, but younger members embraced it. People missed the food. Before and after conversations. Some people focus on challenges rather than the benefits. Our members miss the personal interaction. The connections are so different. Learning curve of technology.
That's definitely one, is the learning curve of technology. So how do you build that community? We've been talking about community all night, and we've been chatting about it all night. But how do you build that? What is the essence of doing that? And I want you to think deeply. And now I'm gonna move away from chat a little bit. I'm gonna share with you what we did at Digital Transformation. In June of last year, we met as officers, and it was before COVID happened. It was before everybody was coming online. And we were thinking, we didn't necessarily have to recruit members, but what we wanted to do was we wanted to bring people's awareness to online community events and online speaking. So we began an advanced speaker series. And what I want to do tonight is I want to take you through the evolution of digital transformation Toastmasters and the history, and so you can understand how things evolved. And hopefully you can take away some of these ideas for your club to continue to grow, to bring online events, because this isn't going away. And we've got to embrace this online opportunity. So. And before I go into our virtual presentation, I want to ask one more thing. How do you embrace the online community in your club? Let's get a few and then we'll continue on.
All right, folks. Type in your answers and I'll start reading now. Let's make it epic, including people when you don't see them. We have hybrid meetings. It's great learning experience.
Who said, let's make it epic?
James, of course.
How do you make it epic, James? Because that's digital transformation's view as well. And I love that. It's so amazing. We are given this gift of online, and some people don't understand that.
Michael, a few more of the comments here on chat are worldwide community. Make it bigger than life. Use our imaginations. Love having district level members at our meetings. Give up the regular Toastmaster agenda. Allow people to just socialize. Bring all of yourself and then a bit more. Digital transformation is about completely recasting your vision as a digital experience, easier to meet without a commute in a large state. Troubleshooting, lessons learned, growth, inspiring with hyphens. I want to return the gift, maybe get a refund. We have a whole world to reach. We can connect minds across whole countries. Get to see people, kids.
Kids and pets, I heard.
Add tech moments to meetings. Cats, love seeing cats. Technology challenges are learning opportunities. It's not about tech, it's about people. People had to learn to use the telephone after all.
Okay, well, I think we got a great discussion going. I want you to think about how you can take your club to an epic level, because that's really what I feel like we're doing. James is doing that. Kyle's doing that. District 32 is doing that. District 2 is doing that. But think at that level. So what I want to do right now is I want to take you through a history of digital transformation and how we evolved. We're going to begin with Elena Balabanova, who currently is an accredited speaker, and she gave an amazing presentation in our advanced speaker series about creating channels for the changing world. And we move on to an open house that we had. And then we really began to see a vision. Belinda Kent was our past District 2 director. And she came and gave a really strong keynote for us for digital transformation. As we moved on, we brought an international president to digital transformation, Jim Kakachi. And he gave our first really international keynote. And then we started thinking a little bit differently. And we did a panel, and we brought several of the members, the founding members, and Angela, and talked about how this genesis of a hybrid club was created. And then it started to go epic. Craig Valentine came to us on March 23rd. And that was really interesting, because when we talk about chat and we talk about virtual communication and messaging, Craig was slow to respond in email. Sorry about that, Craig. He was incredible once we started chatting back and forth. And it was amazing to connect with him. Linda and I did a dry run with him with technology. And it was incredible, because once we started texting back and forth, I had the privilege of chatting with him. I learned so much about what he was looking for and how we could support him. And then we put this event on Facebook to build community. As soon as I posted it on Facebook, we had over 100 people that liked it. They were going, they were thinking about going, most of them were going. And Linda had she crafted an Eventbrite with Craig. We had over 200 people that signed up to come to this event on March 23rd. It was epic. But the most interesting thing for me was when Craig was in the green room, he chatted with me and he said, "Mike, I'm in a green room, but it's not green." And to me, that was amazing to be able to connect with a world champion, not just a world champion, the 1999 world champion of public speaking. So I want you to put in chat, even though we can't see it, how many of you have seen Craig Valentine? How many of you have experienced Craig Valentine? He is a really powerful speaker. Angela Barris, a good friend of mine, she's also in digital transformation. You may have heard her speak here before. She encouraged me to reach out to Craig again in chat and ask him for a testimonial. And this is what he shared with us. He said, making the jump to do a keynote or workshop virtually can be a challenge. However, digital transformation Toastmasters became my guide and showed me the way. As a result, my first ever Zoom keynote went smoothly and was a success. And I can't thank this club enough. We were in shock. We were speechless, and we're Toastmasters. But that was connecting community and a virtual community across the globe. We had people from six count, and our membership grew. Then we brought Erin Beverly, another world champion of public speaking. And again, communicating with Erin was basically texting and chatting back and forth. it was so easy to make that change, or rather that connection, so that we could get quick answers to support him. And what I want to do is right now is I want to share with you something that we did, and you could use this in your club. When you have a guest speaker, ask them for a testimonial up front. Ask them if they'll give you an intro video. It only takes a minute. We were connected with Aaron and we were doing a dry run testing technology. And on the spot, we asked him if he would do an introduction video for us. And this is what he did.
Hello, fellow Toastmasters. Hopefully you are going to be coming to Digital Transformation Toastmasters on May 18th at 7 p.m. Pacific time. I will be the keynote speaker and I will be delivering some educational content on public speaking and storytelling. We're going to have a fun time. Hopefully you'll be there. See you then.
Give me just a moment here. So both Craig and Aaron were amazing to work with. They were easy to work with. And what was interesting about both of them, they felt so at ease with digital transformation. You know, we were so excited to have them, but they were actually so excited to be with us because they were building their own online community. You heard Craig's testimonial. This was an opportunity for these speakers to grow online. And this happened like Craig Valentine came back in March, and that was when the world changed. So he was not that familiar with giving online presentations, keynote online presentations. And I actually watched him, and Linda and I watched him on Facebook evolve and change his whole presentation based on some of the experience that he had on digital, which was great because it really helped build community with some of these speakers. So we're going to move on to Rebecca Murray. Now, I know we had somebody earlier in our presentation that actually played the Rebecca Murray video. So I'm gonna move past that, but I do want to tell you that Linda and I had talked about this and several of the officers, and I just sent her a chat and said, hey, Rebecca, how would you like to come to Digital Transformation and do your online virtual transformation presentation? And she did. She was our next presenter. And that was also epic because people took away so many takeaways on how to set up their camera and their lighting, but really how to connect with people online and in community. The next speaker, I have to tell you this, it was amazing because we wanted to keep going with this idea, but we were a few weeks out from when we wanted to plan this event. And Donna Stoltz reached out to Mark Brown and said, hey, how would you like to come and speak at our club? So we only had 3 or 4 weeks to market this epic event. We had already had a great list from Eventbrite. We had connections through Facebook. We put it out there. And again, we had at least, I think it was 140 people that were interested in this event. So that was another epic event we had. But I think a lot of it was due to the publicity and the fact that Mark was willing to do an introductory video. And I want to share that one with you as well.
Greetings, Digital Transformation Toastmasters. Mark Brown here, 1995 World Champion of Public Speaking. Now, why in the round world am I talking to you Well, I'm going to be at your meeting. That's right. Monday, July 20th at 7 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. I'm going to be there, even though it's like 10 p.m. for me on the East Coast. No matter. I get to share some ideas, some thoughts on dealing with change. Hey, we're all going through change right now, right? Well, my thoughts center on how we can view change differently and we can celebrate change. So please consider this my personal invitation for you, your fellow Toastmasters, your friends, your neighbors, and anybody you can drag off the street to join us Monday, July 20, 7 p.m. Pacific for a special online Zoom meeting of your Toastmasters Club. I can't wait to see you. I can't wait to serve you. I'll see you there. Peace.
So that's just another example.
Michael, I
Yep.
love Mark Brown so much. I know you're not reading chat right now, so I just wanted to let you know, I apologize. I ran over
I
and I
saw
want
that.
to leave time for Nan. So can you do the ukulele?
That's what I was about to do. Yeah.
Okay, I apologize.
I saw that actually. I caught that. So just 1 second. Whoops. And we'll pull that up. So the final event or concept, if you will, I wouldn't say it was an event, but one of our members, David Cook, he had this brilliant idea, and he didn't even tell us he was going to do this, but he loves to build community. He brings a lot of people from Japan and members from Japan, because we have members from all over the world at Digital. But this was just such a beautiful marketing strategy. And we wanted to summarize this by sharing this with you and leave you with these thoughts.
Are you stuck at home with nowhere to go, but you really want to learn, you really want to grow, with lots of friends and pathways to explore? Do you want to become a confident leader, or maybe just communicate a little clearer? There's a place to do all of this and more. So while we're all stuck in isolation, come on down to digital transformation. While we're all stuck in isolation, come on down to digital transformation. Come on down to digital transformation. Toastmasters.
And it's at this point that I would love to introduce you to Nan Hamilton. I'm going to turn it over to Nan, and she is going to bring a new level of energy to this presentation.
Thank you, Michael. Can we just give him a round of applause? And David Cook, he surprised us with that ukulele song. I think he should copyright it. I'm pretty sure it's going viral after tonight. So I had about a 20-minute presentation prepared, but I'm a mom of 5, a teacher, and a Toastmaster. So James encouraged me to be bold, be brave, and pack it in. So listen quickly. First thing I want to be sure to do is take one moment and let you know that down here in Australia, we want to tell you that we are saying hello for Armistice Day. It's 101 years ago today. We don't want to let this historic moment go by. Please just put your hand over your heart, bow your head, whatever works. Linda's got the flag up. We just want to say thanks. We'll never forget those who've gone before us. And thank you. Awesome. Whoops, little technical difficulty, losing the earbuds, very important. The next thing I want to be sure to cover is a quote by Martin Luther King. He called community a web of mutuality. We're here, we receive. But you know what makes Toastmasters really special? We already know how to show up ready to give, ready to listen, ready to give evaluations, ready to give feedback. All we're saying is Zoom gives us a chance to do that with our fingers now, besides our lips. So remember, these are connectors to our little fingers here. The next thing I want to be sure that we do, because Joanna and James have reminded me that Toastmasters end on time, and I believe our segment ends in about 2 minutes. So I'm going to swing this baby home just like the last toss at the end of the 4th quarter, right? So we're going to do the selfie giveaway, because I want to tell you, Linda hasn't told you, but Linda and I have several relationships. One is that I work with her as a coach, but she also friended me, and she sent me one of these last year because she knew that I was having difficulty being comfortable, being visible. And it's important for us to feel confident. And when we show up somewhere, we bring a little bit of light with us. We really make a difference. So here's the question. I hope you've been listening. Whoever's the first to answer this question. So it's a matter of speed, and I have no control. Alayli's eyes are peeled. She's ready to look. You're going to get some contact information. Hopefully drop your email in after we say your name. First person to answer this question is, I know you're ready. Which educational institution did Linda Vorthman work at when she was in the mud zone back in the day? Oh my gosh, I think you all listened so well. I am so impressed. I'm going to turn the light up a little bit more. Alayli, can you tell me who you think is the first person in the feed to give that correct answer? Oh, you're muted, Alayli.
The first to answer Evergreen is Joyce Vick.
Joyce Vick, let's give her a round of applause. Awesome, that is great to hear. So Joyce, please drop your email in the general or privately to Linda Vorthman. She'll get that information to you. And finally, as we're wrapping up, we may be over just a tad. Alayli is very talented in many ways. I won't embarrass her by sharing something she hasn't shared already, but while we've been chatting, I think there's about 400 entries. We may have broken a world record. That might be something to go for District 32. The most chats in one Toastmaster meeting, and you probably get in a magazine, right? Is Alayli has created a word cloud. And many of you are familiar with this. It's a way to capture key concepts as a visual. So Alayli, are you able to share that with us, share a screen and show that to us? And hopefully we can save our chat and get this here, so. I'll read a few of the words. Oh my gosh. So we were trying to catch the energy of the room. So we've got community, belonging, Zoom, power, keynote, embrace, ideas, keynote speaker, web of mutuality, update presence, real life, selfie life. Now, all of you know down in the chat, if you go to the 3 buttons to the right, you can open that and you can put save chat. You can actually have this word cloud. Well, I guess the word cloud won't be on here, but you're recording it, James. I know you are. So people will get this word cloud, or take a screenshot. If you know how to do that, be sure to save the chat. There we go. So I want to close with my closing. I have some great material, and I may come back to District 32 and share some of this stuff at another time. But you've inspired me. I'm from Tacoma. Go Wilson High School. I have family in University Place. I used to live in Gig Harbor. I worked in Alaska, so I love you guys. I feel like I belong to you. But I want to share one thing, and Linda's going to put something up, and I want to share something with you. It only takes a spark to get a fire going, and soon all those around can warm up to its glowing. And if you lived in the 70s in high school, you might remember that song. I won't sing the rest, but I want to remind you that you are the spark. When you show up on a meeting as a Toastmaster, whether it's Toastmasters or something else, you are already activated and energized, and we need this in the world right now. I was on a call this morning, 3 days of 5,000 global leaders about what we can do to build better for humanity. And a big part of it, the number one thing they said is people need connection, and Toastmasters delivers it in spades. So thank you so much, District 32. Thank you, everybody, for attending. I will hand it over to our Toastmaster tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Nan. I realized that we pressed you and gave you a small amount of time for you to give us an immense amount of information. So thank you to our presenters, Michael Dugan, Nan Hamilton, and Linda Vorthman. Now, and a special thank you to our chat master who created our word cloud, Alayli. We hurried everybody up so that we could take a 5-minute break. I know, really, priorities, right? So please, everybody take a 5-minute break, and we will start back at 8:50.
That was awesome, Nan. Thank you.
I
And
had
Michael-
so much fun. It reminded me watching my 5 kids and trying to figure out if it's all going to work. Perfect.
We'll have to get you back on the schedule, Nan.
Absolutely. Well, how you come to Nerdmasters or Sound Advice or one of those clubs? Absolutely.
I know I already have her down. I'm like, email Nan, chat Nan.
Yep.
And I wonder if there's some veterans. I see Larry Crack has a veterans picture up. I don't know if that's him or a family member. Anyone else have a family member who's a veteran or someone who's a veteran here?
Ross.
Family member.
James, Ross, Joanna?
Yeah, be
Carolyn?
careful, Joanna, because she's going to bring so much energy to that virtual room. I'm just telling you. We love Nan, and she
You have
will.
a warning, like, you know. So.
That energy level will go up.
What was it? Nan, we called for like a quick chat and ended up talking for like an hour.
I don't look at the time. Like, please.
It was awesome.
Yeah, James, and I can't even get hold of her anymore. Now I know why. She's talking to you.
I wish.
I do want to take 1 second because Philip's sharing about his dad, 2 sons, and himself. And I want to thank everyone who served or who had family who served. I personally this morning made a little woodland wreath with some herbs from my garden and a flower and took it up. Right up the hill is a 100-year-old cemetery. And I laid it down because I found my birth father this year and he was military, he was career military, U.S. Army. So I was very proud in a fresh new way. I always have been, but felt very connected. So I want to give you guys honor on this day. And that was my 5 minutes. So I'll let
There
be
you
quiet
go.
now.
There you go.
So Nan, if it makes you feel any better, I always start off most of my conversations with, if you don't have more than 2 minutes, I'm not the person to talk to.
Well, I know Ross put in DTM, don't time me. And I know, Joanna, you said that so many times.
Absolutely.
So there is another breakout. Is that correct? I just wanted to be really clear because we ended in such cacophony there.
Yeah,
so
there
I want
is
to make
there
sure
is one more
there's clarity.
session. There is one more session. It's not a breakout in the sense they'll have options. It'll be just Ross taking us out. So, well, hopefully not literally.
Taking us out to dinner, right?
Yes, yeah, that's what I meant.
No, taking you out. I'd say it depends on your reactions.
Somebody grab us. Going for an episode of Psycho Killers here.
We
need to have an evil laugh competition at Nerdmasters one of these nights.
Mary Endicott asked what time Ross starts. He starts at
2 minutes. Yep.
8:50.
Yep. Indeed.
750 Alaska.
Getting warmed up. Oh, that's awesome, Bill. That is so cool to hear. That is super amazing.
And I did want to reiterate that that is one thing. I'm the vice president, not of education, but membership in digital transformation. And in another club, we specifically reached out when we went on Zoom and just invited friends for coffee. We just said, do you just want to do it for 15 minutes? And we did it several times so that they really, and then they still took a little while, but every one of them now teaches me stuff. And I'm like, okay,
That's awesome.
whatever.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, I just wanted to clarify, digital transformations can't win a My Video Award for District 32.
Pat, don't tell them can't. They'll prove you wrong.
However, but you have some members that have home clubs in District 32.
This is true. This is true.
But Nan, if you want to put like a paper bag over your head and we'll put District 32 on it,
wow, harsh.
You might recognize your singing though. I don't know.
Is it like the Olympics? If you had a family member that lived there once, or if you ever lived there once, it counts?
Close enough. Close enough.
Hilarious.
Maybe.
Well, we are
I
at
do-
8:50, so let's hand it back over to Joanna to bring in Ross.
Thank you, James, for acknowledging the time. James understands me and my time and my. So that's my flexibility that I'm learning through Toastmasters. Is sometimes it's okay to not watch the time, but